Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. If you like what you're hearing, hit the subscribe button, give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
You're listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast, presented by BetChrisCanada.net. This is the Hockey Betting Preview for Monday, January 27th, 2020. And now, live from Las Vegas, the host of the Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing.
We're back. It's the Hockey Betting Podcast with stuff we actually want to bet on, and not skating around pylons and 3-on-3. Although I got to be honest,
it wasn't so bad. Actually, you know what?
Yeah, it's hideous. It's
Come to
hideous.
think of it, like, I don't know, Brian. Maybe I'm getting softer as I'm getting older. You think I be more of a curmudgeon, but I watched. I had a couple beers. I'm like, Barzell won the skating contest. I'm just like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say it's blowing my mind, but I enjoyed aspects of it. The game too. I got a strategy for next year, and I talked to my buddy Babano Ian Cameron about it, who does hockey picks. 2 overs in the first games, over,
Yes,
under. That's the way to do it every year.
You know what I did? I wanted no part of it, and I got home. I said I golfed Saturday. I said this thing, and I'm like, oh God, I got to pay attention to. And I'm like, I'll motivate myself. A $10 2-team parlay. I'm not at least motivated. And they offered the first 2 games, and I took the Atlantic and the Pacific. So I watched it. Okay, good. Hit the little 2-teamer, won $26 and go, okay. They paid me $26 to watch the damn thing. But I will tell you, they don't care.
No.
That's the problem. It's they don't care.
No, I know. I wouldn't mind winning, splitting $1 million with my team, though, just extra spending cash. But no, I'm with you. Let's get away.
Forget it. It's over.
There's things that need to be done, but I get it. At least the games are back now, so let's have some fun and bet some real hockey.
And then I think the really good and exciting thing is that, as far as I can gather, now that that's behind us, Brett Hull will be nowhere near a microphone again for another year.
Sorry.
I'm like, yeah, fellas, you're putting him up on that ledge.
Oh, I know.
That's a bad move, man.
I got to tell you, from a guy that likes to have a few drinks, like Brett Hull's one of those guys. Like you got to be pretty careful when you put a mic near that guy. He likes to get fired up, and Anyway,
give Joe Namath, old Joe Namath a run
I
for his
couldn't
money.
care less about Brett Hull struggling.
God, you can't let it go, can we?
I love Joe Namath. Great.
Oh man! All
what
right.
are we doing?
They're back.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of short lines on these games tonight. See, the odds makers aren't stupid. They're not coming out minus 180. Like the biggest favorite on the board, crazy enough, is SJ Sharkey at minus 145 against the Ducks. Take a look at these lines. They're tight, Brian.
All right. Now, the one thing, I'll just throw this out there, but to get it out there, can I read my own doggone writing? All right, here we go. The league's done a better job where teams get the break wrapped around the All-Star game, when it used to be the break would be God knows where, and it was just ridiculous that teams were coming off a shelf playing teams that had been playing, and it was unfair. It was just flat out unfair. Yep. And now basically everybody's coming off the layoff together. There are 3 teams this week, though. Columbus, Florida, and Chicago. Just watch for them. They will be coming off a layoff playing teams that had been playing, and that was gold, Jerry. It was gold.
No, that's a great angle coming out of the break too. Also, we talked about, I don't know what's going to happen game 1 out of the gate, but things are going to tighten up. People understand now, you know what, you got to get points in regulation. You're not going to be screwing around. That's the type of thing. That's, you know what I mean? If you're a team that needs to stockpile points, I got to believe, especially in third periods, things are really going to tighten up there, Brian.
All right, my brother, let's go. Monday night, Washington at Montreal. Low price.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I would have made the Capitals $145.50 minimum in this game. So I don't know what the hell's going on off the break. Like, what did they think? Ovechkin, what is he?
Oh, no, there's no.
What?
There's no Ovechkin. That's why.
Yeah, I was going to say swimming in a pool of
Ovechkin,
Stoli, right? Yeah, that's the thing.
Ovechkin didn't go to the All-Star breaks, got to sit out again.
Exactly.
So there you go.
So, yeah.
No Ovechkin.
Yeah, but still, 125 for the Capitals. They're still a good team. You know, I don't know how Montreal is going to come back after the break. I can tell you one thing. They're going to be a desperate team, but they've had injury problems. Probably 6. I kind of like the under, to be honest with you. I don't think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. I think it's going to be a defensive game, but I can't be taking Montreal plus 105. I need a hell of a lot more. I lean under 6 goals. I could see a 2-1, 3-1 type hockey game here. I
like that.
The more I look at it, the more I like the under. I'm feeling the under right now.
I like that.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. You're backing me up. 6 under.
We'd like to thank BetChrisCanada.net for their support of the Hockey Betting Podcast. I'm Brian Blessing in sunny Las Vegas.
And I'm Cam Stewart in cold Toronto, Canada.
If you love hockey and you're in Canada, and Cam is, by the All-Star break, even if you can't stop thinking about taking a vacation someplace sunny and warm, but you don't want to miss out on any of the hockey action, look for a BetChris near your next holiday destination.
BetChris is one of the leading sports books in the Western Hemisphere, with hundreds of sports betting locations throughout the Caribbean and Latin America.
Watch the game at a BetChris location. Food and drink specials and VIP lounges are available at many BetChris locations. Use the promo code PODCAST when you open your BetChris account.
Place some bets on your game and collect your cash at the window when the game is over.
BetChris offers single bets, parlay bets, teasers, and more on pregame and live odds for hockey and all your favorite Canadian and American sports leagues. And BetChris offers a variety of team and player props, including futures.
BetChris offers the best value odds on Canadian and international sports. Use the promo code PODCAST when you open up your account at a BetChris location. Deposit $750 or more and get up to a 40% reduced commission on your sports bets, up to minus 106 on single bets and parlay bets. That's the best juice in the biz.
So, if you're planning a trip to exotic locations from the Caribbean and Mexico to Peru and almost everywhere in between, the odds are very good. There's a BetChris Sportsbook where you're going on holiday. For more information about visiting a BetChris location while you're on holiday, or to listen to or subscribe to the Hockey Betting Podcast, visit BetChrisCanada.net. That's BetChrisCanada.net. Cam, you're Canadian. When you leave Canada and you're heading south, use the promo code PODCAST. What do you think of Jersey at Ottawa? Sens are $1.30. The total is 6.5, shaded to the under. I'll just throw this at you. I mean, you know, Blackwood, 14, 12, and 6. Save percentage is .905. He's going against the Hogberg kid.
Yeah, Hogberg. Yeah.
Because Anderson played in the All-Star
That's
game.
right. So
would you take Jersey?
I kind of am looking at Jersey. I see a 6. So depending on where you shop, you're going to get a 6 and lay, 20, 25 cents, or you're going to get the 6.5. At 6, Brian, I kind of like the over in this game. I got to believe, I like the Devils in this spot. I don't like to lay juice with Ottawa. They have been pretty good at home. They grind. I got to give them credit. They've never really quit, which I respect, but I think the Devils getting a price looks pretty good to me. I lean New Jersey plus 110, 115, wherever you're shopping. I like the Devils as a dog.
Is this a safe assumption? Toronto's at Nashville, but Matthews will not play, right? He skipped the All-Star game?
Yeah, Matthew, I see a straight pick 'em right now. I'd be very careful. This is a tough game, man. The Leafs understand they got to every game is important. I don't know what I think of Nashville. They're kind of an underachieving club to me. It's a 6.5 total, Brian. Obviously, they still don't believe in the defense there, which it's hard to take an under in a Leafs-Nashville game, which I'm not going to do. But what do you think? Do you like the over? Do you like the home team? I don't know what to do with it.
Generally, I would say, before the break, I'd like the over. But there's no Matthews. But the bottom line is Toronto's just so bad in their own end. And you still have Marner, Tavares, and Nylander. It would probably still be over for me.
Yeah, I lean to the Leafs and the over. They can play Nashville pretty tough a lot of the time. I don't know. I'm not going to take the over at 6.5, but I'm going to let this game go. I think the Leafs can beat Nashville, but I'm going to focus on a couple other games there. That's very tricky.
Tampa Bay, Dallas. Tampa $1.30 on the road. We know the Lightning are getting their act together. Total on this one is 5.5. I get it with the goalies, but man, there's a lot of talent on the ice here.
There is. I wouldn't be taking the under. I'd actually look at Dallas, Tampa Bay with a lot of players on their team. The break, they were just starting to get better. I could see them coming out lackadaisical. Dallas, on the other hand, a decent home dog. The price is kind of telling me watch out for the Stars tonight. It's a very tough board. Like, we just got back into this thing, and we talk about it. These prices are tight. We got pick'ems, 20-cent favorites. Like, it's nuts. Like, these are very, very difficult games to cap after the break. So I think we're going to dip our toe in very gently, Brian. But I lean Dallas Stars in this game, and for me, it would be over. I definitely am not taking the under at 5.5 with these clubs.
Both teams, good current form. 7-3 last 10 Dallas, 8-2 last 10 Tampa. Yeah, maybe one to watch. Just enjoy. St. Louis is at Vancouver.
I kind of like Vancouver.
I was,
Think about the angle, the All-Star angle,
yeah, I know.
Blues, all the things they had to deal with. Now they have to go to Vancouver.
And the travel.
Yeah, that's the thing. I you know what? I gotta.
How about the over? How about?
Oh, yes.
How about the over in that just willy-nilly, loosey-goosey, blah, 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 blah. It's okay, let's get into this again. I
agree. I think Vancouver could score some goals on them. It's a good spot for them. St. Louis and all the things that happen hosting the All-Star game. It's going to be, get the team together. Then you got to fly. I know it's in the Midwest. You got to fly to the Canadian Pacific Northwest to battle Vancouver. It's not a great spot for the Blues. I think it's a hell of a lot better for Vancouver, hence the line. The Blues would have been probably 40-cent favorites if not for all this stuff. Give me Vancouver plus 105 and the over.
Yeah, okay. Well, I like it's still you're still stepping in front of the St. Louis train.
I know, but I'm willing to step in front of it.
I like the over though. I like the concept that it's like okay, we got to start and get into this again. And when St. Louis gets into it, it's big, banging bodies, physical, blah, blah. I think this could be, these guys are still in all-star mode.
Yeah, it's hard to. The Blues are an awesome team. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean. They're the team. Brian, when you're hosting this thing, the obligations you have in the loosey-goosey style, then you have to fly back and play a real hockey game against a improving Vancouver team, a young team. I think they catch the Blues at the right time in this situation. I got to take the Canucks. If they lose, so be it. I like the over as well. I will be betting both. And
then you get the get-out game. Anaheim's at San Jose.
What do you do with this game? You want it? Is the rest good for the Sharks due to some of the veteran players on the team? Like I gotta believe. I kind of like the Sharks here. I don't want to lay 45 cents with them, and I don't really have the confidence to take Anaheim in this spot. But they could be a dangerous dog. What do you think? 5.5 too? Maybe the over.
I'd lean over, but I don't. I'll stay away. I mean, honestly, I think you talked me in. The more I'm thinking about it, with Ovechkin out, I think the Washington-Montreal under makes really good sense, and I'm pretty comfortable with the St. Louis-Vancouver over. Those are the two. I think I'm gonna keep it simple, stupid coming out of the break.
I'm gonna do three. I'm just gonna do gold, silver, bronze. Same thing. I'm gonna take Montreal and Washington under. I'm going to take the Blues Vancouver over, and I will take the Vancouver Canucks at plus 105 as a small home dog against the Blues. That's what I'm playing.
All right, Ottawa tomorrow. Ottawa's at Buffalo. Buffalo's a 210 favorite. Now, listen, Buffalo shouldn't be 210 over anybody. Now, I think you're going to, tomorrow, run away. Maybe there's a total thing to think about. But what I would say to you is Buffalo's got 9 of 10 at home. They're 14-6-3 at home. I think the Sabres go on a little mini heater here before the trade deadline to at least get back in the discussion. They're 9-10 points out of it, but they get finally the schedule's favorable for them. I think they make a bit of a push here. Price is inflated because Ottawa plays tonight, but Ottawa plays them tough.
They do. You know what I would do with this game? If you're going to do anything with the game, we'll see what happens with St. Louis because they're on a back-to-back in Vancouver. They got to go to Calgary in the late game. But I would, if you're going to play Buffalo, either you play them on. I know they play them tough. I either play them in regulation if you don't want to lay the 1.5, or you parlay it with the over. I have no idea how this game would stay under. I think Buffalo can get five themselves, and I think the Senators are good for 2 or 3.
Yeah, the only thing I would say,
that's all I'm saying.
It'll be interesting to see what Kruger does because they've got to figure they got to play Hutton at some point.
Well, if they play him against Ottawa, I like the over even more.
But I would say this: this is honest to God, this is a must win. game for Buffalo.
Yes.
Like, most important game of the year. I mean, to come out of the break and Skinner's coming back. Olsen's not too far, but you're not laying 2-10. Maybe you take a shot with the if you lay the puck line with the Sabres, the one good thing about that is at the end of games, they put Eichel out there. I have never seen anybody, and I mean this with all sincerity.
Loves points, loves the open net. It's true.
No. Well, but what I've never seen anybody miss. I mean, he gets it from his own end, bam, center cut. I mean, from 150 feet, bam. So the puck line maybe can help. The game I like tomorrow, I'll tell you right now. St. Louis. I like St. Louis tomorrow night at Calgary. It's back-to-back nights.
Yep.
But I think in this instance, that is a big advantage for St. Louis to shake the rust off and come in here and play Calgary. I like St. Louis on Tuesday night.
I agree with you, Brian. No, that's what I'm going to do. And maybe a parlay with St. Louis and Buffalo. If Hutton plays, definitely the over. I like the over even with Allmark. Sabres and Reg. If you like the -1.5, we endorse it. And I agree with you. Especially if the Blues lose to Vancouver on Monday night, I will come back to them hard and parlay them with Buffalo on Tuesday night.
So there you have it. It's a brand new week. We're off to the races. We're back with the Hockey Betting Podcast. Any things, Cammy, just generically speaking, I think the game should tighten up a little bit. I do think there are some teams, analyze the schedule, watch for those Columbus, Florida, and Chicago games where they're playing. They're coming off a layoff against teams that played. If the St. Louis game wins tomorrow night, that's a real thing. That I think there's a distinct advantage for having played.
I agree. Another thing, I'm going to watch these games intently. I think we're going to have more unders than overs. I think the books, if they keep on putting these 6.5s out there, teams are going to need to change their style, Brian, and tighten up. You know what it's like at the start. It's like pond hockey, like shinny, and points are so valuable. So if you have that 2-2 game in the third period, I think teams are going to be gripping their sticks, playing tight. You don't want to lose in regulation. You got to get to overtime or a shootout. Points are so valuable, and the way the NHL is situated. Winning in regulation, that could do you in. When you lose in regulation and get no points, teams can leapfrog you so fast. So I expect scoring, especially to slow down in the third period. So we'll keep an eye on that.
He's Cam Stewart. I'm Brian Blessing, and here we go. Another edition of the Hockey Betting Podcast in the cookie jar. We'll be back with you on Wednesday. Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Hey, we hope you like what you're hearing. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At betchriscanada.net and the Hockey Betting Podcast, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.